Yo, what is good guys? It's your boy VGOK and I'm back with another video for you guys today. Now today's video is going to be a market breakdown video, so I'm going to be going through all the different Forex pairs for you guys for the coming week, and I'm also going to be having a look into the fundamental news events of the week that are coming in as well, so we'll know exactly how to prepare and be cautious for those. Now if you do want earlier access to these sorts of videos, these sorts of calls, you know, live with me and the rest of my mentorship group, then please do drop me a message on my Instagrams with the word mentorship. You know, the link will be in the description below, so if you are interested, then please do drop me a message on Instagram and we'll see what the best option is to help you out with your trading. But with all that being said, let's jump straight into the analysis. So starting off with the fundamental news analysis, from what we can see right now, we've got the Forex factory open on the relevant week, and from what we can see right in here, obviously not as crazy as a week as we've seen, you know, in previous weeks. So on first glance it looks like quite a quiet week. Tuesday around London session there is some GBP news to be coming out. The flash services PMI for the US dollar on Tuesday as well, at 2:45 p.m. that will be a high impact news, so expecting some volatility around that on Tuesday. And then looking forward to Wednesday, we can see Canadian dollar interest rates to be released. So they call it the overnight rate, but essentially it is the interest rate released on monthly. So we'll be seeing that for the Canadian dollar on Wednesday around 3 p.m. And looking forward, yeah, most of it here is saying medium impact news, so these orange folders. Of course, we saw last week that sometimes these medium impact sort of folders, these orange folders right in here, actually they can be high impact news on other you know, economic calendars, so please do bear that in mind. For example, you know, last week we had the unemployment claims from last week we had as a medium impact on Forex factory. However, when we check it on the economic calendar on investing.com, we can actually see that the unemployment claims are a 3-star high impact news, as we can see right in there. So just be wary of, you know, the slight differences in calendars and sort of their classifications of medium impact and high impact news as well. But on the whole, looks like a pretty average week. We should see some decent moves, you know, nothing too crazy in terms of manipulations and, you know, large fake outs, not like the ones we had this week. Obviously from this week we had you know, a decent number of manipulations, especially on Wednesday for that PPI news. We had a good manipulation around there. And also the unemployment claims on Thursday of last week actually had a decent manipulation as well, which you'll probably be able to see on the recent case study video which I posted for that GBPUSD buy scenario. But yeah, for this week it's not looking too bad. We'll have a quick check in the investing.com calendar as well, just to see if there is anything major that we may have missed out from the other chart. So on Monday we do have the European Central Bank President speaking at 5:45. Don't know if it didn't say anything about that. Let me go to the right week. Okay, yeah, so it's medium impact again for that Monday right in there, and obviously high impacts here. So just be wary of that sort of time if you are in any euro trades. You know, please do expect some sort of volatility around there. But yeah, looking forward to this. You know, more speeches. A lot of speeches on this week. AUD CPI coming out on Wednesday night, so in the middle of the Asian session. But yeah, mainly I think it's going to be the standard ones that come out week on week. It's going to be the stuff like, you know, the crude oil inventories at 3:30 on the Wednesday, the jobless claims at 1:30, where are they? Yeah, the 1:30 jobless claims that come out on the Thursdays. You know, nothing major to sort of really look into for this coming week. Friday seems like there's a lot of medium impact and, you know, the odd high impact news on here. So the core PCE pricing, that's pretty decent as well. So maybe some volatility on Friday to come as well. But yeah, on the whole it's not too bad. And then I think obviously next week, so for the week afterwards, we've got FOMC coming in as well. FOMC and NFP, that is. So yeah, big news week to follow for the following week, which we should be able to sort of take advantage of. Also for that following we do have the Great British Pound interest rates coming out, so they call it the official bank rate as well. But yeah, on the whole for this week, not too bad, should be quite a calm week. But yeah, moving into the analysis from for the Forex pairs that I like to look at. So starting off, you know, on the daily, the 4 hour, the higher time frames, the main thing we can see on AUD USD right in here is this big buy to sell manipulation. And I have marked out, you know, the rough sort of supply areas on the lower time frames, which when I've gone to, you know, investigate what was going on. So we do have a 3-minute and a 5-minute supply in there, and then we do have some demand zones built up in this movement up as it's broken structure above here as well. So I'm going to basically be looking to look within these zones for my main entries for this week. Now, I'm not saying, you know, this demand zone is going to be the only one. We're going to be monitoring in that zone, hence we've got the alerts. So yeah, we're going to be monitoring that zone, and that zone, providing if price can get into there. So let's start to see what we'll get on here. So yeah, looking at the 10-minute time frame, seeing as that's the first sort of the highest time frame news that we've got. Now, I had this one marked up. It has kind of reacted into there already. We do have a nice 10-minute rally, base rally, which takes out this previous supply area, so causing a new demand zone to be formed. Price retraced back into there and then showed signs of bullishness. So, you know, there were early signs of, you know, getting in for these buys up halfway in here, you know, on the Friday. But yeah, it may come back for a second mitigation of that area there. On the 10-minute again, here you can see a nice sell to buy candle. I have labeled it as a 5-minute just to include that bit more detail in that candle right in there. So potentially coming into there and then going higher. And we do have this 5-minute demand at the bottom in here where it looks to take out this liquidity. Strong movement up with a breaker structure, and it's still unmitigated imbalance in there as well. So we'll be intrigued to see if it can actually make it all the way down here. If it can, then we'll be looking for that accumulation in this demand zone for that proof of demand to take price higher. And then obviously if we're looking into the supply side of things over here, what we can see right in there, the 5-minute time frame, it's basically this base drop area which takes out previous demand. That's going to be a key area, I think, for the sells. And I think also when we look into the 3-minute time frame, we can actually see this is one of the main areas where there's just a clean imbalance order block left there as well. So looking for that base drop in there for that to be potentially mitigated. You know, potential liquidity above these little wicks in here for them to take those out, mitigate that higher order block, and then drop down. So that's why I've got those both marked on, and of course let's set an alert so we know when price gets there. But on the whole for AD, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, not looking to overtrade or, you know, trade in between these zones too much. Ideally just be looking to trade within these established zones which I've found in here. But yeah, moving on to GBPUSD right now. And I do have a small position still running from Friday night, Friday afternoon. From New York session on Friday, we do have this little reaccumulation buy which is floating about 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk to reward at the moment. I have taken a bit of profits early just to bank profits before the weekend. But yeah, I'll be intrigued to see whether we can, you know, look to travel higher. Looks like some equal highs over here in the liquidity, you know, within this larger supply zone. And there is this, you know, demand zone which we can look into as well. So yeah, it'll be intriguing to see where we can get anything in there. This 5-minute zone in here, this is what it's based off of. This buy to sell candle which takes out this liquidity. That's the previous buy that we had as well, and seeing how price left liquidity over here, we've now finally taken it out and trying to, by the looks of it, you know, almost trying to go bearish now. So definitely worth just checking for distribution in this area right in here for GBPUSD. But yeah, further than that, I'm not looking to sell anywhere else. Ideally, pretty much it's in the sell zone now. And then, you know, if we can look for buys, you know, to head the other way, or, you know, because I'm already in on buys, you know, wouldn't be too against going for those sells right in there. But yeah, that looks pretty good for GBPUSD as well. So moving on to DXY, and from DXY we do have this 5-minute zone from quite a while ago now. So as I come back, we did have this redistribution of price from I think that was around NFP of January, and we had this base drop on the 5-minute time frame, as you can see in there, which price hadn't quite got to. And then as we scroll over and have a look, you know, price eventually gets into there and then drops down. So this supply has now been proven to be correct. And, you know, when we go back to those higher time frames and see exactly what's formed from that 5-minute zone in here, a really strong drop off in price here. So this hourly zone here is basically made up of this buy to sell candle on the hourly time frame. So waiting to see whether we can get price coming back up into there, maybe taking liquidity out over here and then coming down. But there is a smaller time frame supply zone right in here, which I want to see what's happened. So we can see prices actually got up into there nicely and then rejected downwards nicely as well. So we'll be having a look at that as well right now. I believe it was on the 5 or the 3 minute time frame. I think it's a 3 minute that we can see it clearly in there. And it's just, you know, that little base drop area in there, which obviously takes out this area eventually in terms of demand. So if we have a look into that, you know, that was the main zone. You know, liquidity left at these highs in here. Prices spiked up into that area and then dropped back down, you know, breaking structure quite successfully as well. So we'll be monitoring this area on the hourly. You know, we can see in there already, even on the 5 minute, there's a clean buy to sell candle for DXY right in there. So we'll be monitoring price as it gets there, potentially looking for bearish on the dollar at that stage. But looking at currently where we are within this demand zone in here. So there's a sell to buy region within there. I think it's probably best seen on the 5 minute time frame as that sort of drop base rally upwards. We are currently in there right now, so I want to see whether we can get you know, a bullish push from this area, or maybe, you know, one more manipulation below these equal lows for it to then continue to travel higher. So we'll see whether we can get that on DXY. But yeah, looking just to sort of look between those zones. But it'll be interesting to see, especially for DXY, when we look at the higher time frame, is are we actually going to be looking to go bullish from this area right in here? So this weekly demand area, which, you know, we've been in for quite a while now. We want to see exactly how price can look to you know, go up if it can from here, or if it, by the look of it right now, it looks like it's probably going to be going bearish. So as you can see, you know, going bearish from this area in here, dropping down again, you know, maybe getting into this deeper demand zone down in here. But we have seen a strong wick upwards on the daily time frame from this line in here, which was a smaller time frame imbalance fill. So we'll see if that can carry on getting respected. If we see proof of bullishness and this zone seems to be holding, then we should see, you know, a bit more strength from the dollar, you know, come back in. But yeah, on the whole, that looks pretty good for DXY. And obviously, because we've just seen DXY, Euro, we should be seeing the opposite sort of bias. So from DXY, what we saw is in this demand zone currently right now. So we should be seeing EU in this supply zone. And as we look into the 3 minute time frame, which is what I've based this supply zone off of, as I scroll over and have a look, you know, we can see exactly, you know, it's a buy to sell candle in there. That's taken out any structure below this area. So any demand pushing price up in here, and all of this area has been taken out by that area. So it's that drop area there, and there's a clean imbalance which hasn't been mitigated, so looking for it to get into there. And as we see, you know, how price is around there, we've already seen price come pretty much tap the zone just about, and strong rejections down. So now we've reapproached the zone, and by reapproaching, you know, we've also created a hell of a lot of liquidity on the top side there, so potentially looking for a liquidity capture and then a drop down for EU. I think that's going to be the main sort of you know, bias for this week on EU. And of course, if this zone does fail, then there is a slightly higher 3 minute supply zone over here as well. But ideally, I do think the supply zones are going to hold, because we've got such a big buildup of liquidity sitting in this area now. You know, there's a lot of equal lows in this region. So ideally, I would want them to be taken out. So ideally, looking for distro on Euro USD. That's going to be the main thing. And obviously, we can see the further targets which we can look to aim for should this look to play out. But yeah, moving on to NZD USD. And from what we can see right in here, the main movement is obviously this uptrend. But as soon as it's got to this previous high, it's just about gone above it. I don't think it's really broken structure. It looks more like a manipulation, more like a buy to sell movement manipulation. And on the hourly time frame, we've got this rally base drop scenario right in here, and a line at this imbalance fill on the hourly. So definitely going to be wanting to monitor price once it gets into this region, and potentially see what we can get in there. And then on the flip side, the 5 minute time frame here, we've got a nice demand zone. So a nice rally base rally, and this really nice looking doji candle right in here acting as the base before price breaks above this previous area of supply when price is getting pushed down. So definitely want to be seeing how price can, you know, re-mitigate that 5 minute area right in there. And if we actually go into the hourly time frame back again, it looks like a nice sell to buy you know, manipulation. And so it could be that 1 hour whole order block which gets respected, which is also, you know, theoretically nicely in line with that 5-minute demand as well. So it's kind of 2 zones in one over there. So we'll be looking definitely for some proof of demand, proof of bullishness in this region right here. And moving on to US dollar JPY. So from what we can see, it's definitely, you know, UJ is in that bearish trend, and, you know, understandably so, because the dollar DXY is losing value. It's, you know, it's decreasing, it's going down, and, you know, we can see quite cleanly. I'm not even gone on the higher time frames yet, I'm still on the hourly time frame, and we can see the clean bearish order flow that's being, you know, presented to us. So obviously a previous supply zone over here pushing price lower, drop base drop over here again, price coming up very strongly to it. So I think this was the JPY monetary policy meeting or monetary policy statement or whatever it was, you know, pushing price up, and then eventually, you know, producing it, coming back all the way back down just to recover back down again. So yeah, nice to see that happen, you know, showing us the true direction of where this wants to really go at the moment. So yeah, intrigued to see, you know, obviously this hourly drop base drop here has held, you know, it's given a good reaction downwards, and when we look into the lower time frames, we can start to see, you know, what these areas are going to be made up of. So nice 15-minute drop base drop, which takes out this previous demand. So definitely want to be seeing what price does in there. And in terms of actual demand levels, I think this one will be looking pretty good. So ideally, if we can look into this area right in here, that will look pretty nice. A nice little drop, rally on the 15-minute within there, which looks to break structure above all of that. So ideally, if we can see price coming into this area and then, you know, going bullish, that might help us out with you know, some sort of trades on US dollar JPY. But yeah, on the whole, not looking to trade anywhere else within that. You know, those zones look pretty ideal to me, unless something else comes up on the Monday. Then obviously I'll have to have a look at that again and reanalyze. Moving on to Gbpjpy. Now GJ's done some fantastic movement recently. Haven't quite found any decent trades on it yet, but the mitigations have been quite clean. We've had equal highs in this area from this, let me, I think, go to the 4 hour, might be easier to see. So yeah, this 4 hour supply pushing price down, making that new lower low. Price instantly retraces back up into here, creates liquidity, but it does do so dropping afterwards. So we do need to see how price can come back up into this level, which it has done in here. You know, basically taken out liquidity above those equal highs, still in keeping with the imbalance fills within that zone, and, you know, the supply zone as a whole, showing us a sharp drop down as well. So we need to see if this is going to be a break of structure on lower time frames. At the moment, because this move up was so strong, and obviously that was from that JPY monetary policy statement, I think yeah, it's going to have to break a bit lower than where it has done at the moment. So technically I think it's still going to be bullish, but you know, it's not too much of an ask to actually start looking for signs of distribution now, because we do have a buy to sell, big buy up to take out liquidity. Definitely the purpose of this buy was to just take liquidity out and re-enter the supply, and then obviously showing us the true direction, and it's going down again. So you can see price has returned back up in here and showing, you know, again, signs of bearishness, but probably more likely I'm going to be looking into this around you know, London or New York Open. Not looking to trade this sort of at market open. Ideally you want to be looking to trade within my sort of kill zones, so, you know, within these colored bands over here. But yeah, let's see. It'd be interesting to see what we can get for GJ. At the moment, you know, I think we've got a nice little demand zone formed in here, so it will be interesting to see what this will actually give us. So this sell to buy in here, let's see if price can come into this area, give us signs of bullishness, signs of an accumulation forming, and, you know, who knows, we may get a measured move of this coming upwards. So we do have that impulse there, and we could see a repetition of that impulse. So another size move coming back up into here around that 163.5, that could be ideal. So could be looking to see some sort of movement like that right in there. So there we have that full breakdown of all the Forex pairs, the market breakdown. You know, we've had a good outlook at what's to come next week. We've also had a good look at the news as well. to see what's going to be happening in terms of the fundamentals of next week as well. So yeah, we've had a decent look at everything really. But yeah, I'll say it again, if you are interested in sort of having earlier access to these sorts of calls, these sorts of market breakdowns, then please do get in touch via my Instagram. You know, drop me a message, drop me a DM, you know, saying the words mentorship, and I'll be able to get back to you, and you know, we'll schedule a call and see what would be the best option for you. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. You know, it really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video for more of that trading source.